Target locked.
Enzo's first ability, Star Supply, summons a bullet supplying device at the designated location. Supplies bullets to allies that approach the device, and the bullet supplying device can be used once by each ally and disappears when everyone has used it or its duration ends. This supplies bullets to every single ammo type, and as it stated, it will stay on the field until all people in the area have taken from the ammo supply or until its duration has expired. Enzo's second ability, Explosive Drone, launches an explosive drone forward. The explosive drone explodes on contact with an enemy or a terrain object, dealing burst damage. It's also important to note that this will supply a brief stagger to enemies that are able to be staggered. Enzo's third ability, Enhanced Combat Suit, summons a shield recovery drone. When the shield recovery comms is first summoned, it recovers the shield and grants a enhanced combat suit. This heals the initial shield recovery 25% of his max shield and continuous shield recovery of 6% for the extent of its duration. Enzo's fourth ability, Perfect Support, summons a small supply ship to himself and his allies. The small supply ship provides supply bullets and grants perfect support to allies. The small supply ship attacks enemies in front, and when the skill ends, it fires a missile forward that causes a big explosion. This is my standard all-around build for Enzo, focusing fully on duration, cooldown, and tankiness. He utilizes the module Supply Firearm Enhancer, which is the go-to mod for any Enzo support build, to alter his first ability from just supplying ammo to giving a buff that increases weak point damage and firearm critical hit rate for anyone that picks up the ammo drop. This buff lasts until their next reload, so it can be amazing for high ammo weapons as it will last a very long time. I like the extended range that long distance maneuvering gives me for the grapples, as I personally enjoy being a designated Colossae grappler when doing them, and it keeps me at a safer distance from any melee or close range attacks that they might have. For survivability, I go for increased shield, as Enzo has his third ability that specifically calls out for shield and replenishes it on a fairly low cooldown with this build. Increased defense, and some increased HP as well with Battle Stamina, so that I have a buffer if my shield happens to deplete. This allows me to get in and out when needed and survive most any situation in most cases, and be able to pick up allies without having to worry if I'm being focused by hitting my third ability and then be continuously healing on my shield to pick them up. Every other module is exclusively skill cooldown and duration, maximizing my uptime on keeping the fourth skill up, being able to hit the third skill whenever needed, and keeping allies buffed with his first ability. The only thing I would possibly change is switching out Focus on Singular, which counterbalances some of the negative skill power modifiers, so that his second and fourth abilities still do some damage for multi-talented, which would ensure 100% uptime of his fourth ability as I continue to use my third ability, giving it a much quicker cooldown, but I've yet to be in a situation where that has been deemed necessary. As for a reactor, you're going to be wanting to look for a non-attribute singular with the damage type of the weapon that you intend to use, with the substats of skill cooldown and skill duration up. For the components, ideally you're going to want a 2 set of bravery and a 2 set annihilation, looking more for the substats of shield and defense and MP recovery and combat. Two weapons that I personally tested and love using with Enzo are firstly Greg's Reverse Fate, which with max rings calls down bombardments with a 20% chance to call down 7 of them, great for AoE clearing. Important to note is it actually fires 2 bullets at once, so it's actually 2 chances of the 20% proccing. And secondly, a nice support weapon, Navistra's Devotion, which upon hitting an enemy's weak point, lowers his defense by 30% for 3 seconds. Fully built, this can be a solid DPS on its own, and it even has a secondary function that if you shoot at an ally, you can spend some of your MP to recover their shields as well. Not entirely useful all the time, but a nice bonus for sure. Builds on these weapons will be in a separate video as I personally build them myself. Thank you for watching this video on the First Descendant. If you like what you've seen, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Lieutenant Sheik, and this target has been destroyed.